A computer's performance levels are in a constant state of flux. When several applications are running at once, and multiple processes and tasks are competing for resources at the same time, system resources can become strained, causing performance to suffer. If you notice slowdowns, you can use Performance Monitor to view information about how well computer components are handling the load. And perhaps narrow the bottleneck down, if you have one, to a single component, like the CPU or RAM. There are many ways to open Performance Monitor. I'll search for it on the taskbar. I'll choose to run as administrator. Click Performance Monitor in the left pane. Performance Monitor is currently monitoring percent processor time. You'll see this at the bottom of the page. This object counter represents the percentage of time the processor is busy during the sampling interval. If you notice this object consistently posts over 85%, you can assume the CPU is overworked and can't handle the load placed on it. If you find this is the case, you can move the applications that require extensive CPU resources to a different machine or add additional CPUs to this one. You can add your own counters. Right-click an empty area of the graph and click Add Counters to start. I'll add some counters here. I'll expand memory and I'd like to select cache faults per second. If you're not sure what this means, you can always click Show Description in the bottom left corner. In simple terms, cache faults per second shows the rate at which pages sought in the cache were not found there and had to be obtained elsewhere, such as on a hard disk. I'll click Add. Now I'll locate physical disk. I'll expand that. And I'd like to select percent disk time. Percent disk time is the percentage of elapsed time that the selected disk drive was busy servicing read or write requests. I'll leave total selected and click Add. Now I'll click OK. I need to make sure these counters have colors I can clearly distinguish, and I can see that 2 of these counters are red. I'll double-click one here and change it. I'll choose blue. Look at the other options here. The General tab lets me change how the interface looks and how often to sample. You can make the sample time higher or sample less frequently than every second to see how performance looks over a longer period of time. From the Graph tab, you can create a title and show various grids and change the scale. If you can't see what's on the graph very well, experiment with these settings so you can. I'll click OK to close this. You won't always be able to locate a problem quickly using Performance Monitor, though, because often problems occur over time and not over a period of, say, 100 seconds. You can use Performance Monitor to create a baseline graph, though, and then save it to use as a comparison for later. By comparing the baseline to how the computer functions a couple of months down the road, you can uncover where and possibly how a bottleneck came to be. To do this, first expand Data Collector Sets. Click User Defined. Right-click. Point to New. And click Data Collector Set. Type a name for it. I'll type Physical and Processor. Select Create Manually Advanced and click Next. I'd like you to see all the options. In this example, select the Performance Counter checkbox. And click Next. Click Add to select the counters to use, noting that it's possible to gather data from a different computer if desired. I'm going to choose Physical Disk and Processor Performance by clicking their titles. As you can imagine, there's more to learn and explore. Go ahead and experiment with a few more counters and change the view of the graphs to get a better idea of what's available. Here's Processor Performance. And up top is Physical Disk. I'll click Physical Disk and click Add. And I'll click Processor Performance and click Add. Now I'll click OK. Select the interval and click Next. I'll leave it at 15 seconds. Accept the root directory and click Next. Click Change to login as the administrator of the machine you're monitoring. I'll type my name and password. And click OK. And then click Finish. Now you're ready to start the new data collector set and let it run for a while. I'll expand User Defined. From User Defined, I'll right-click Physical and Processor and click Start. Let it run for as long as you'd like, perhaps a few minutes, and when you're ready, right-click to stop it. You can review this data set anytime you want by clicking it in the left pane. You can then use this information to compare to the current performance graph to learn more about what's causing any system slowdowns. Just right-click the entry in the left pane and click Latest Report. You can also see these in the Reports section under User Defined. That's a high overview of Performance Monitor.